Are we recording?
Yeah.
Welcome to the A Strings podcast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Adam.
How are you today, Adam?
I'm very good, thank you. I've just come in. It's my day off on our recording day, so I'll be getting everything that's happened today in the news. So this is episode 3.
Fully embracing the floating head look again.
I am. When I got dressed this morning, I thought, what is Andrew going to want? He's going to want some comedy gold.
Need cheering up after the week we've had.
The week, I know. Yeah. So this week's episode is going to be talking about how guitarists in the guitar industry is, in a sort of weird way, it's always sort of back-facing. But we'll get onto that on our main feature. So let's talk about what's happened this week in our news.
This is the news. It's been a miserable week as far as I'm concerned. We had a letter on Wednesday, and there's a company that we use that processes all of our credit card transactions and that kind of thing, and they're called WorldPay, and they never send anything out. They're only sending letters out. There's 2 instances where they'd send a letter out. The one would be if they want to try and sell you some kind of finance option and take out a loan, blah blah blah. And the other thing is chargebacks. And a chargeback is when somebody has paid you and the transaction has been flagged up as fraudulent for whatever reason. And that's exactly what we had. And it was for the price of £1,599 for an
Elite Strat,
for an Elite Fender Strat that was sold on the 1st of October. And I wasn't here for the transaction, but they seemed like a dodgy characters.
They were red flags in as much as, again, don't judge a book. It was both in tracksuits. It's difficult, but you do kind of think, okay, they don't look like musos.
There's also certain questions that people ask that just don't seem like. There's been a number of times where we've had people come into the shop and they've said, "What's the most expensive guitar you've got?" And they're asking as if they're interested to buy. And a guitarist never asks that. If anything, a guitarist wants your most expensive guitar and they want you to knock it down at half price in order to get a deal. Yeah. When certain people have come in asking for that, we've kind of sensed a red flag and we've just kind of ended the conversation.
It's almost like casing the joint type job.
Yeah.
So what happened with this one was the biggest red flag, I think, was they came in and sort of looked around, and within sort of 2 minutes they said, can I have that one? So it wasn't, can I try it?
No
it was
price
like,
haggling.
It was like, can I have that one? And it was, bearing in mind that's a £1,600 Strat. They weren't even trying it, and even if it was someone who was just starting, and even if it was someone who was just starting and had won the lottery, you'd at least sort of
they'd have a conversation about it
and sit with it.
We've learned some very harsh lessons by it with regards to procedures in this kind of instance. We've got a couple of positives to take from it, in as much as you kind of picked up that they were a bit dodgy. You took a license plate.
Yes.
We've got an address, whether that's true or not. We found the guy on Facebook.
Yeah, weirdly, the guy. Yeah, we found someone on Facebook.
Was the second guy in the pair, wasn't he? In as much as he wasn't the one.
No, so the guy. So there was 2 guys. The guy that was at the till and made the payment isn't the guy whose name it is on the card and whose face we've matched to that name. That's the other guy. If that makes sense.
So in the long chain of events and people involved in this, everybody along the way, thief included, is covered, and the only person who stands to lose anything the only people stand to lose anything are us.
Yeah. So
we've lost the guitar.
Yeah.
We've lost and we're going to have the money taken from our account. I had a conversation with the credit card people today to say, right, you're going to take £1,600 out of my account. Can you be good enough to tell me when that's going to be? Even if you give me just a couple of days, or any time in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Be a little bit more specific. Is it definitely going to be in 30 days, or is it any time within the 30 days? Within the 30 days. How unhelpful can you get?
Yeah.
It's almost, the attitude sucks. The people who are really suffering from this kind of us who are the victims in it all. Forget the guy who's had the card stolen. If it was indeed stolen, I think it's a scam personally. But all of these people are covered all along the way.
So where are we? Because we've spoken to police.
Spoken to the police today. They're the most. You speak to the chargeback team in the credit card firm, and I'm dealing with chargebacks. So they deal with people like me every single day. It's their job. So there's no kind of empathy or sympathy or anything like that with us. South Wales Police been on the phone to them a couple of times, on the phone to them again today. They're calling back again on Friday when somebody's available to pick up the case. Good thing being is that, the idiots who bought the bought the guitar were driving an orange
Dodge
thing. As brash and as kind of chavvy as you can get. Apologies to any orange Dodge drivers out there.
There's probably not many.
But
they were parked around the corner, and they didn't.
Adam dashed out his spidey sense, thought that this was a little bit dodgy, so he got a license plate. We've got an address. Whether it matches up with that or not, I don't know. But we have got, the number plate of the people who perpetrated the fraud. How boring this was that? About 10 minutes worth of us ranting.
But it's, it does happen.
It hurts us. It really does. It's. £1,600, that's a weekly kind of wagering, for us, We're all not getting paid next week now.
What? Tom's just stormed out, I think.
Yeah. Taking the biscuits with him.
Well, let's move on. For those of you that don't know, our very good friend and member of staff, Chris, is over in China. He's the other side of the world, over in China, and he's basically there for the whole of Feb.
He sent me a message yesterday. He sent you a message yesterday?
I've been speaking to him today, yeah.
Right. So he's managed to find internet, which I think is quite a result over there.
Yeah.
But, I know that they're quite secretive about things over there. They don't.
Well, Facebook's banned.
Yeah. So he's on Facebook Messenger. He's managed to
find some
kind of loophole.
Yeah.
But the only thing that he's, if he is being monitored by the Chinese police or whatever, I don't think they're going to be very happy with him because he's complaining about the state of their toilets. Did he send you a picture of the toilet?
He sent me a lot of pictures, but they haven't come through. So it's all kind of it's all stuck in limbo at the moment.
Yeah, he said, "How do they live like this? It's literally a hole in the floor." So
literally a hole in the floor.
Yeah. If we don't see him again, I think it's because of he's
been monitored.
Toilet espionage.
So he was telling me a story of when he, I'm not sure which plane it was that he got on, but he was watching the plane get loaded luggage wise.
He's he's only been on a plane once before, hasn't he?
Yeah. So this is all this
is quite, there's a novelty value to this as well for him.
Yeah. So he
might be a little bit more aware of things, looking at things that wouldn't.
So he's studying rather than just sort of So he was watching the plane get loaded up, or the plane next to him get loaded up, or whatever it was, and the luggage carriers put two keyboard cases onto the luggage slide. This is what he was telling me today. And during the luggage going on, the one hit the door and fell off the top of the ramp. And I don't know whether the case busted and it was all on the floor, but it was a Kronos.
Was this from Cardiff or was this the Amsterdam kind of leg?
I don't know which flight it was, but it obviously bust open enough for him to see it was a Kronos. Worse than that is when the luggage trolley came round the corner, it's run over one.
Oh.
So it hasn't just either one. He said one has dropped and one was run over, or the one that has dropped has been run over. But he said he was literally sat there watching a Kronos get destroyed.
I hope he was going around the airplane giving out business cards.
What for?
Yeah,
I can glue this back together.
No, just we sell Kronos. We've had one in stock a little while. It'd be nice to.
If anyone needs a Kronos.
Listen, I got good news and bad news.
I've just seen one destroyed.
I've just seen your Kronos. It's a lovely bit of kit, but
yeah,
it's wrecked.
So yeah, he was telling me this morning, and
good news.
It was just horror.
We got buy now, pay later options.
Yeah. We can hook you up.
Yeah, but no, if Kronos is a serious bit of kit, and if you got in flight codes going to, wherever, it's either Amsterdam or China. But a touring musician, so they're absolutely screwed when they get to there. We've all seen that really kind of bad video on Facebook, haven't we, of those guys kind of just
launching things. Yeah.
That seems like an honest mistake, but to run over it as well. And also, it kind of throws into question how good are your flight cases? If you're going to split open when you take a fall. Well,
yeah, but I think it must have been quite a heady fall. I don't know.
Chris can be a little bit liberal with the truth as well, can't he? He's not always. He likes to tell a story, and then when you realise the story hasn't got that much legs, he'll elaborate a little bit. So it might have been a little Casio mini keyboard.
Yeah, I was going to say a Fisher Price.
The falling out of
Yeah, it was a duty free. Yeah,
was it?
It was an Aer Lingus branded Fisher Price.
Major Morgan. Do you remember that?
No, what was that?
It was this Major Morgan. Is like this. It was like a soldier, a plastic soldier, and on his chest you had around about, I think it was an octave, maybe 12, including the black notes. But so it was like a 3x4 kind of thing. So you used to be able to get these paper things to slide up his chest. Do you remember Major Morgan? We'll get a picture of it and try and put it on the podcast kind of thing.
Yeah, have him holding it or something.
But it used to tell you where to put your fingers to play Three Blind Mice or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star kind of thing.
All right.
And it was a real kind of lo-fi kind of electronic noise that you.
Awesome.
It was brilliant. I had one.
It's easy to mistake one of them for a Kronos.
Yeah.
So Fender have launched the Acoustasonic Telecaster, which isn't anything like the. Was it called an acoustic? Was it called Acoustasonic Tele before?
No. It was a teleacoustic and Stratocaustic.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But the Acoustasonic is the name of their amp line, which is just a little bit confusing. I don't understand why.
I don't know. So it's a solid wood body with obviously the top is routed, and then different piece of wood. Fishman Aura preamp in there with the pickup, and you can blend, and it gives you different voices.
I heard he playing. One of our customers come in with one.
Yes, it was very.
First of all, he came in to see if we could get one.
Yes,
and we said no, they're only available to order from today. So we can order one today, and they'll probably be in with us early next week. And he swore blind that he could get one from Anderton's, and we said, well. So we called Fender. Fender said, nope, they're only available to order from today. So you can order them if you take it to the dealership, which we were quite prepared to do. We said, well, if you can get it next day, well, treat yourself, do it. I appreciate them coming to us first to give us the first opportunity, but, we couldn't get one for next day. So, I was quite interested to see whether it would actually turn up or whether it was just one of these things where we mentioned it last week where you're having to start, suppliers are asking shops now to only display what they've got in stock. So I thought
on their website,
So I thought that maybe it was a case of them being on the website but not in stock. But fair play, Anderton's delivered. They got the stock to our customer very next day, and it sounds fantastic. The guitar, doesn't it?
Yes.
You had a go of it.
Yeah, it is really, really nice. To be honest, it's the Fishman Aura that is doing the work.
Acoustically, it's going to be.
It's just like a louder
electric guitar,
semi-hollow.
Yeah,
it's basically, it's
there's no.
Yeah, it's plugged in that it really does shine. No, it's interesting.
The annoying thing from our part is that
there's obviously been preferential treatment. Yeah,
which Anderton's is such a formidable beast online. If we have a supplier offering us something, which might be deemed as one up on everyone else, of course you're going to say yes. So you can't blame Anderton's for doing that. It's a little bit disappointing on our part that there is this kind of.
Well, I was going to compare it to the Meteora, but that was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Whereas this is they had stock and also different finishes.
And let's not forget that they had this guitar to demo back in. I think they demoed the Meteora previously anyway, didn't they? So it's a little bit frustrating to know that there's this preferential kind of treatment, but hey, they've earned it.
Yeah.
So
I guess
that's great. It's so that was another disappointment. What else have we got?
Well, do you want to go from some regular old sad news to some biscuit news?
Biscuit news!
So yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I got really wound up in Tesco's, right?
Okay.
I was going up and down the biscuit aisle thinking, well, we've had... and I did... Tom's chuckling to himself over there. I was going up and down the biscuit aisle. I did do about 2 or 3 kind of back and forths.
Yeah.
Looking for something for today. First disappointment being I can see we've already got loads of biscuits on the table, so there's no need for the ones I bought yesterday. So that's one annoyance.
Have you got stuff with you?
I bought, yeah.
Amazing. Add to the list.
I got
Oh, hello.
chocolate orange finest cookies.
Oh. Tom is rubbing his hands in glee.
Yeah, which look really, really nice. But
They do look amazing.
so I chose them, and
Yes.
then I went down to the end of the aisle to look at what biscuits might be on offer as well.
Okay.
Pedigree Chum. They had dog biscuits on the end of the actual proper biscuit aisle.
But they're not biscuits for people, Andrew.
You're mocking me.
I'm not.
I can tell. Right? Why would you do that? Why would you put dog biscuit? I had about a 2-minute rant to Kate.
But you do realise that someone, somewhere...
You're going to read but like you think, the colours might be similar to another type of biscuit. What are they? Yellow and red, is it? Pedigree Chum?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
But Tuck biscuits, they're yellow,
Yeah.
aren't they? Custard creams. You look at some...
some people they don't have full sight.
Some people do have dog... I went to Magaluf and I saw somebody eating dog biscuits.
Oh, that's not
but it was part of a game. A long time ago.
But yes, that's
Sick everywhere.
We're going to see that. There's going to be a Daily Mail post online sometime.
I just think
of
it was
the man
really
that
bad
bought
form.
them.
That's all. If you're going to make it, so then I went down to the animal food aisle.
Yeah.
And what's on the end? McVitie's, everything.
Are you serious?
Oreos, honestly. So they had Oreos and McVitie's and all that kind of thing on the end of the dog food aisle, and they had dog biscuits on the end of the proper biscuit aisle.
What's going on?
Right, let's move on. So we've had quite a lot of people donating biscuits this week, haven't we? And it's not necessarily supplies either, bad form. Well, we haven't had that many supplies. We had Sean, our Brandy Fender rep.
Yeah.
Our first meeting with him, what an amazing guy. Really, really lovely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to working with him in the future. He wasn't aware of biscuit news,
No.
so I'm allowing a full-on pass there.
Yeah. Mark JHS came in.
Yes,
Don't know if he's
we
aware,
meant-
but
we
we're
mentioned
making
biscuit-
it. We're
we
making
mentioned-
everyone aware.
we mentioned biscuit news, and you went, "Oh right, yeah." That was it.
Good.
Yeah.
Got your number.
Yeah. Who else are we? Right, so we're seeing Andy from Marshall tonight.
Cool. I like Andy.
He brought in some lovely biscuits just for Christmas. So I think that Andy, I think he does anyway before he comes in. We'll let him know about it tonight and see what happens.
Have a listen, Hand.
Yeah.
Have a listen, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Although
Not this
will
episode. It'll be in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's list all the lovely, wonderful people that have brought us biscuits.
Yeah. So we got Patrick Began.
Right now, Patrick popped in. I was going to turn it into a tongue twister then. With an SRO, so he brought a guitar in for a service.
Yeah.
And didn't mention anything, did he? He just popped it in, and we did the service, and we managed to do the service the same day. So Tom, you spoke to him, and he came back with these biscuits, and he'd been
Mention anything about biscuit news, or do you think it's just one of those universe kind of things? He listened to biscuit news. Oh,
see,
shout out to Big Pat Began then.
yeah,
Yeah, brilliant.
sounds amazing.
Tesco's finest shortbread as well, so there's no scrimping on the cost here.
The best thing about these is they are shortbread assortment, so you get like you get cookies in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's not just what did you say? It's not just seeing enemies. Not just seeing enemies and picks.
Belgian dark chocolate chunks,
See,
mini dark chocolate chips.
see, and we haven't actually opened them.
No.
So everything that comes in for Biscuit News, we keep ready for Biscuit News. But there's so much here now.
Dad's been off. Glenn's been off recently, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, which is why the biscuits are piling up a bit. But I think he's back in from tomorrow.
Well,
You watch.
Clive's shortbread.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had to say to Glenn, I was like, Glenn, we've got to eat these shortbreads. They're going to go off in a month.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of them.
What do you... we say in a month. So you're
They're going to go off at some point this year, Glenn. We've got to get rid of them now.
So
So we've made a dent.
I was going to say, you haven't got to ask him twice.
No. He didn't have that many, actually. I think he's behaving himself. Yeah, I think he is behaving himself.
So Tesco, go on.
No, go on. Tesco
So
finest.
Patrick Began, Tesco's finest shortbread. Thank you, Pat. Amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I like Dunkin' shortbread.
Yeah. It's strong enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I had a nightmare with the custard cream on Saturday morning. For Christmas, Tom bought me this amazing, absolutely amazing plastic flask where you put it down on a flat surface, knock it, it won't fall over. Absolutely won't fall over. You got to literally lift it up, and it's brilliant. Anyway, I put a custard cream in this thing, and it fell in, and I didn't have a spoon long enough to
That's
get
it.
to the bottom.
No, because it's a long...
Yeah, ruined.
That's game over then, isn't it?
Marcus Gansman. Right, so Marcus Gansman, he's a very, very interesting character. First met him, I think it was around about 2014, 2015 or so. But
Okay.
he bought from us. He's a German guy. He was living in Cardiff. I think he's a judo expert in as much as he plays world championship competitions all around the world.
I think it was judo and... Or jiu-jitsu and taekwondo?
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
He'd kick our asses.
Mixed media. So, yeah, he's one of the nicest blokes. Anyway, he was living in Cardiff, and he came here and bought a Troy Van Leeuwen Jazzmaster.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
In that lovely oxblood red colour. And we supplied him the guitar, and he came back not too long after and said, there's something a little bit off with this guitar. It won't play in tune. And so we tried it, and we realised that they put a Jaguar neck on a Jazzmaster body.
That's right, I remember.
Or vice versa. But the weird thing was is that it's a matching headstock. So
Yeah, they painted the headstock oxblood, didn't they? Yeah.
So it went back to Fender, and they replaced it, and
That's right, I remember.
it was all good. But it was one of those instances where you get to deal with the customer more than you usually would because there's an issue.
Yes,
And he was a gentleman about it, and he was kind of a regular visitor to the shop, even though he lived in Cardiff, which was lovely. But he moved back to Germany a few years ago.
Yes.
And he now works for Thomann.
Yes. In their guitar department.
In their
he was telling
guitar
me.
department.
Yeah.
And but he comes back to Cardiff quite often, a couple of times a year. And every time he comes back, he pops in to see us.
Yeah.
And this time he came in and brought us the most amazing... It's not a biscuit. It's not a cake. It's a Portuguese confectionery product
Yeah.
called salami de chocolate.
Yeah.
So it's chocolate salami.
Yeah.
A little bit dubious, first off. It's wrapped in foil,
Yeah, it's not something you want to Google, is it?
sliced up. No. We'll try and find a direct link for you to click as opposed to you having to do your own research. But we, tried a bit while he was here. And whenever anybody brings something and I'm here, I like to try it in front of them out of a mark of respect because...
Like the matcha green tea Kit Kats we had from Takamine, and they were here and we tried them in front of them, and we were all spitting them into the bin.
They were out of date as well. Though.
Even your dad didn't like them.
I don't think the Japanese listen to this podcast, but
No.
But if we do, we've just disrespected them, and they're all about the respect. So
Yeah, the Japanese Takaminis that we have in at the moment are extremely limited now, as we won't be getting any more.
we're spending a long time on biscuit news. Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
Salami to chocolate is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It was an experience that
We'll be looking for that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're gonna have to import some of that. Maybe Wally's. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look.
Sophie.
Yeah.
Sophie is not just a bringer, but a maker of biscuits. Whenever we have like an event going on, like we've had Marshall nights, we've had Takamine nights, we have all. She always comes in with a tin of biscuits that she's made.
Yeah. And they're always amazing.
Really
And
are.
that is genuine. They are
Yeah.
genuinely amazing. She always does chocolate orange.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
double chocolate and it's chocolate orange.
Sometimes I just smell them because I know that if I have one, it's going to
Yeah.
be like 2 weeks worth of.
The last clinic we did, they disappeared.
Yeah. Oh no, it was the birthday.
Oh, the birthday. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
went,
Yeah.
and rightly so.
Yeah.
So Sophie's brought us.
Sophie's gone commercial for this one, so she's not made us any, but we've got some custard creams and jam creams, and they look delicious. The jam creams are a mix, I'd say a hybrid between a custard cream and a jammy dodger.
I'm not a massive custard cream fan.
Aren't you?
No,
I love jammy
Whenever we
Dodgers
bring the
as well.
Twin Towers in, I'm always like, yeah, okay,
Just sad.
not sad, but you know,
Just thinking of
I'd rather a bourbon.
a bourbons. I can't stand bourbons.
Oh well, there we are. That's why
If
we.
we
That's
get- if
that's
we
why
get
we're
given-
good company. See, because
if-
you'd have the.
Like Jack Sprat.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat no fat.
No, his wife Nolene.
No lean. Both legs are the same length. No lean. The jam creams, in the family value thing,
Yeah.
you get the jam rings,
Yeah.
and then you get the little faces.
Yeah.
They're basically the same thing. Jam creams are amazing. Do you know what? I've nearly opened them so many times this week.
I thought you just said you don't like custard creams.
No, the jam creams, the custard creams, no, I don't like them. Well, they don't like them. I'll eat them.
So, you're a doll. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And to finish off with,
So we had these today.
yeah,
So Stuart Herbert and Christy, really good customers. Stuart is the customer that has bought the Acoustasonic and brought it in for us very kindly, and they've got one of our collector series Takamines. They're brilliant. I was just up with them now before we started recording, and they very, very kindly donated some Jaffa cakes to our Biscuit News. Now, the Jaffa cake thing does throw an argument in, doesn't it?
oh yeah.
Because there was the whole biscuit
Is it a
cake.
bake or is it a cake? No, bake. Is it a biscuit or is it a cake?
It's something to do with when it goes stale, isn't it? It's like if it goes soft, it's a biscuit. If it goes hard, it's a cake.
Anyway,
So we got Jaffa cakes. So you're eating your Tesco Finest chocolate orange cookies.
so
The Jaffa cake's a great one because it's a silent eater as well. So we can eat it during the podcast. Whereas everything else is all like...
yeah.
So
What can I say? Thank you so much.
thank you to everyone
But,
who is
you know,
kind enough to
We're
donate.
trying to encourage the suppliers to do this, and it's our beautiful, beautiful customers. They're the ones that are
Yeah.
stepping up.
Stepping up to the plate.
That there is the best of Britain.
This is why we do it.
Yeah.
This is why we do this job. For Biscuit. No, for the customers. Hang on, Tom is...
I thought Tom
is-
was standing up in a kind of one of those proud kind of
Yeah.
hand on heart,
about to actually say something
yeah,
poignant and
yeah.
meaningful.
But no, he's reaching
He was
over
reaching
for
for a
more
biscuit.
biscuits. What do you
Yeah,
want, Tom?
What do you want? Another
No,
another chocolate orange. Just take the box.
amazing. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Let's move
Let's
on.
try and make this this podcast about guitars and guitar shop life a
This
bit
is-
more about.
This is Guitar Shop Life. Biscuits and guitars.
Biscuit News!
So today we are talking about this whole idea of the guitar industry and the instrument industry as a whole being backwards-facing traditionalists and what we think can happen in the future with things like wood regulations, things like valves, the production of valves being an issue. So let's start off with your thoughts. I'll ask you, what do you think? Why do you think there is such a sort of traditional anchor then that is sort of present throughout the guitar community? Why do you think we're all stubborn?
Because I think all of our guitar heroes, certainly a lot of the guitar heroes that really made the instrument popular were established themselves in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. At
Yeah.
which point, the Stratocaster and the Les Paul kind of they were, by and large the instruments of choice, weren't they?
Yeah.
And everyone gets into guitar because they've got a guitar hero. I don't think anybody comes into it just purely because they're they want to learn an instrument, I think that they see somebody or they hear somebody play and they want a sound or look like that.
Yes.
So, going back to, the 50s, the Chet Atkins kind of thing, that would have inspired, without going through like the evolution of things, but, Hofner sales went up because of the Beatles. Mm-hmm. Rickenbacker sales went up because of them as well. And then you had Stratocaster sales, really going through the roof because of the Shadows and all that kind of thing. And from there, it just developed, didn't it? And then people started finding new ways of using their instruments and getting sounds from it. And, the majority of tone, I think, was discovered by, probably 1983, 1984, when the real kind of heavy, amps came into things, sound just got heavier and heavier. And since then, where can you actually take it sonically? There's not many other places.
Yeah.
The sonic abilities of the guitar were kind of stretched to the maximum, and it where do you look other than what's already been created? You got some people like Matt Bellamy and these guys who are trying to introduce synths to control their guitars and create weird and wonderful sounds, which is a bit of an exception. Everything else is people wanting to recreate sounds that have already been.
Yeah. So do you think as an industry it's always going to keep cycling round? Because you think the most famous or the most popular Telecaster 52, Strats are 50s, 60s.
And it keeps coming around, so you had, in the 90s you had a big kind of, everything kind of went back 3 decades. The Britpop thing was massively influenced by 60s music. So you had, Graham Coxon from Blur playing a Telecaster. It looked like a 52 Telecaster. And you had Oasis playing 335s and all that kind of thing.
But it never seems to... I was thinking about this the last few days in readiness, and the last out there iconic shape then that has sort of stayed would be like the V in the Explorer. In terms of sort of out there shapes. Everything else is, you got things like a Warlock and all that sort of stuff. But there's nothing that
no
feels...
new classic shapes kind of thing.
No. And do you think do you think we have all that we can have now?
The weird thing is that, like Fender have got these new Meteoras coming out.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
thinking.
it still looks like a blast to the past, doesn't it? It looks like a kitsch kind of 60s catalog guitar kind of look. It's strange.
But it's interesting because there's such a foot in the past.
Yeah.
That the Meteora will never be an iconic thing.
There's in
the same way.
Yeah, you're right. Like it or not, the guitar heroes that have been are always going to be the ones that are going to be associated with innovating the instrument. All of the people that we, kind of just mentioned, like Hank Marvin, like Jimi Hendrix and Clapton and Jeff Beck and, all these people. They were doing brand new things with the instrument. And they were pushing it to see how far it could go. Jimmy Page using the violin bow and Jimi Hendrix setting it on fire, putting it through fuzz pedals into big Marshall stacks and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dave Davis slicing the speaker to get that.
Yeah.
All of these people were the guys who created the sounds, and these things evolve. And ultimately, I think things get... So this is the same with everything in life, I think. Things get to an extreme, and then you just kind of take a deep breath and just want to simplify, and you just go back. And I think that's what happens. There's lots of innovation that still happens. Like you've got this Acoustasonic, for example. Has it got a switch on it or something to give you like 5 different... So
it's a 5-way switch, but within sort of, so say like position 5, it's not a tone knob, it's a blend, and sort of all one way would be like a jumbo, or the other way would be a dreadnought, and you can blend. And it's so there's you're right. There's new ways of doing things without making it look like off a spaceship.
Yeah. The other way of looking at this is that all the good ideas have probably been attempted or at least discussed by the likes of Fender or Ibanez or Gibson or whoever else already. It is very rare that you're going to think of a brand new idea that is going to be kind of revolutionary. So when it comes down to it, I think it's just people like what they know, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and so do you think that mindset is the same when it comes to, you were saying about the sort of the evolution, but in terms of the manufacturing processes as well? Because you think of the manufacturing process of 1952 to now. You know, you can 3D print components and guitars and things now, but people always want, you know, they want it made the way it was made. They want the pickups the way they were. And you know, you read the stories and hear the stories of, you know, back then the pickups were never consistent.
No.
You could have a dog and you could have, you know, a brilliant one in the same run.
You know, I think that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with that stuff. I think that, you know, people will pay over the odds for something vintage.
Do you think it's just romanticizing the vintage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, whoever your inspiration is, the likelihood is that they're going to be playing a guitar that was designed and built back in 1950, 1960 something.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to sound like them, or if you want to get close to that, the industry kind of fuels itself with regards to this thing, because you go into our showroom there, and what have we got access to? We got access to Strats and Telecasters, and we got access to Gretsch, and we got access to Jackson, and, you know, PRS and that kind of thing. It's all classic shapes, you know. So where, you know, it's too much of a risk for us to say, right, I'm going to spend my monthly budget on a brand new guitar range that is not tried and tested. It's too difficult to sell.
Well, even when we're looking at lines that fill a gap in the market that we don't have, like for a long time we didn't have that Les Paul option, did we? We didn't have that.
No,
that answer
the heavier
apart
rock
from
kind of
the sort of the vintage stuff. But people, you know, sometimes people want, you know,
Yeah,
I think the highest price vintage is maybe like 400 quid. People wanted like that Les Paul shape or single cut shape for, you know, in
the
better
humbucker guitar,
quality.
yeah.
So that was the reason we went with Hagstrom, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because
and PRS.
Yeah, the PRS thing for us, the better sellers, or at least the more popular sellers, have been the double cuts, haven't they?
Yeah, because it's the Les Paul sound with a bit more comfort.
Less weight, a bit more comfort, yeah.
And a bit more versatility, yeah.
It's a double-edged thing, isn't it? Because you think, you kind of hope for something different, but then as soon as something different comes around, you're just like, no, I need
we were looking through in the last podcast, we were looking through, you know, the new releases and everything, and we skimmed over the Fender thing because, you know, I think at one point, it might not have been on mic, but we said, right, more Strats, more Tellies, but what else are they going to release? It's what they're known for. It's what guarantees the sales, and, you know, people will come in asking for Stratocaster or Telecaster. You know, it's what people want. You know, so. And
interestingly, and again, this isn't going to be a pattern, I promise, but we are just fresh after NAMM, and you know, the Gibson thing has been a success. Them at NAMM with all the new lines. You know, this has been a complete throwaway of all of this, in quotes, innovation that they've done, where they've put the Les Paul to its absolute technological limits, and now it's just like, right, we're going to do what you've asked us to do.
Exactly. You know, so you want to know why we're stuck in this kind of backwards-looking thing. Gibson tried their damnedest to convert us all into more forward-thinking players.
Yeah.
You know, they're what seems like bad decisions. You know, I think in its most innocent kind of sense, their idea was, we're in the year 2010 or whenever it was that they first did it. You know, we've got iPads, we've got iPhones, we've got all this amazing technology around us, and we're still building guitars that we designed from 1950, whatever it was, when Les Paul did it. People aren't going to go away from this shape because it's what we're known for, it's our heritage, but we need to bring this into the 21st century. This guitar needs to represent the times that we're in. So they made self-tuning tuners. The reaction has been almost unanimously negative.
Yeah.
And it's put them in a state of financial ruin, where you've got a brand new management team going in there to try and resuscitate an iconic brand. So, you know, what greater proof is there that the public, by and large, don't want new things. They want, so they announced at NAMM or whenever it was a week or two ago that they're going back to basics.
Yeah.
And, the quality control's going up, the catalogue selection's going down, and hopefully the price is going down as well, and these things are going to get more accessible. They're going to be better quality, and we're going to do what we know how to do well.
Yeah.
They're just going back to the absolute basics again, which is what, and we all said, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we don't want change. We want the older sound with maybe a bit more convenience, like the MV50s.
Yeah.
Like a Polytune style tuner. All these kind of little innovations that just make our lives easier.
Yeah. So, mentioning YouTube, obviously in the same vein as what we're talking about, there is this discussion quietly about valves, isn't it, and valve amps and the production of the tubes and things. So, is this something do you think we're going to see? Do you think we're going to see the sort of the end of mass production?
I think in
valve
the
amps?
next 10 years, so I think that especially where the valves are being manufactured, which like Russia and China predominantly. As long as environmental and emission standards are going to be kind of cut down, and sanctions are going to be put in place for those countries that aren't adhering to good practice, I think that it's quite possible that we'll see the demise of the valve. There are very few industries nowadays that rely on the valve.
Yeah.
So everything's been digitized. So
I think it wasn't it valve amps and fighter jets? Were we the last two?
Yeah. So basically, the whisper we heard last year was that, we were all panicking about the Rosewood situation with the CITES thing, which is inconvenient, but I'm all for restrictions on things that are endangered. We don't want to, the amount of rosewood that has been wasted and compared to the amount of trees left, of course we need to move on to something else. And so I'm all for that. Yeah. The other thing that has been mentioned, as you said, was the valves, but the nickel content as well. So the nickel that they use in valves,
yes,
that's something that is being flagged up. But more importantly for nickel, guitar strings. So, if you haven't got nickel, you haven't got the best-selling ranges of Ernie Ball, D'Addario. One of our kind of USPs, certainly in this area, if not in the UK, is the amount of strings we got on the wall.
Yeah.
We got something like 1,100 different sets of strings on the wall available for sale at any given time. And a lot of people in this area, 5 years ago when, they're walking into the shop for the first time, were a bit stunned by it. And, a lot of the time they just stick with their standard Ernie Ball Slinkies or D'Addario EXL 110s or whatever. But after a while, they start saying, I fancy something a bit different, or these strings are a little bit too heavy or a little bit too light or whatever. And, so now, fast forward 5 years, the amount of people that come into the shop asking for a set of 9.5 to 44 gauge D'Addarios or GHS.
We're generally always sold out of the 9.5s.
Yeah, because we got people that think that they're absolutely, but we expose them to it. And but where I'm going with this, apart from stroking our massaging a very healthy ego, is that the amount of people who are using like Optima Golds or Chromes or Elixir Nanowebs or Clear Tones or DRs, because we've stocked them. I think that we've got a very healthy amount of people who have kind of deviated onto other things anyway. And I think that, it's all about trying something new, which, going back to the original thing, we don't necessarily
we are very reluctant to try.
You might try new,
Well, just remember the conversations about Pau Ferro which was the replacement for Rosewood. It was just like, honestly, it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
like Laurel, which Gretsch are using now. I think it's really nice. No, it looks great.
Yeah,
that's the only thing with Pau is it's visually a little bit paler.
Yeah,
but you know, you got people sitting there with stethoscopes doing tone tests and stuff. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Just play and have fun. So you genuinely do think then, sort of about a decade, do you reckon? And
I think within the next 5-10 years, I think that there'll start being
sanctions
severe valve shortages because, you know, apart from that, they're going to go up in price because there's no demand for them, apart from our industry. And you might think, oh, there's millions of guitarists around the world. Well, yeah, but, you know, all these amplifiers use different valves, you know, and so, you know, you shrink it down, and is it worth them machining up just for our consumption? I don't think so. You know, they've gone from supplying radios and TVs, which every household had, to quite a niche audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've had enough of this. I want to know what the social media comment of the week is.
Great.
Social media comment of the week.
Social media comment of the week.
Right, you got it there in front of you.
This cheers me up a little bit.
Why?
But I don't know.
Can I just say, though, before you
Yeah.
start, so if you just say this guy's name, the username.
Eduardo Mason.
Right, so Eduardo Mason is a YouTuber, right? But Tom noticed last week that he's commented on different videos of ours saying similar things, not just copy and pasted. Like, they're very, very different statements, but they're still
With a theme.
this theme.
So which video was this on?
Ah,
This is the
okay.
Gretsch
So this
Jet
was the new Jets. Yeah. So this was the video me and Chris did.
Hey, pal! Exclamation mark. So he's starting off nice and friendly. Hey, pal, you're a very cool young guy. ... I could not help feel disgusted watching your completely tattooed hand. Eduardo, you're on demand there. You know, you can switch it off whenever you want. I got to look at it 4 days a week.
Well, I've got a glove. I can be
That's not a bad idea.
I can be like Curly from Of Mice and Men. Just wear a glove.
Yeah. Thank you, Eduardo.
So Eduardo giveth and taketh away in the same statement.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Like.
I would give you a thumbs up, but it'd have to be with my left
Yeah, it
hand.
would be
Oh,
with-
that's tattooed
It'd
as well.
be his
So,
reptile tattooed
reptile
hand.
filth, yeah.
Yeah.
So there we are
Oh,
then.
good.
Another positive.
Yeah.
Let's try and find a nice one next week, Tom, please.
Social media comment of the week.
So, a new regular section of the show, as we alluded to last week, is Elwyn Smiles. Just in case you didn't listen to last week, Elwyn is probably our most regular customer.
When he's not...
Jet setting the world.
Well, yeah, so Elwyn's job requires him to go back and forth to Europe a lot. So we don't see him for a long period of time. And then when he's off, obviously he's over in Mago, so he pops in as often as he can. So yeah, we've seen him quite a few times this week, but then we might not see him again for a long while.
So we mentioned last week that with his name being Elwyn Smiles, it'd be cool to have a segment called Elwyn Smiles.
Yeah.
At which point we ask Elwyn, what's made you smile this week?
Elwyn Smiles.
So we dropped Elwyn a message yesterday or the day before just to see what made him smile this week, and he was kind enough to record a little message for us. Now, Andrew hasn't heard this yet, so only Tom and I have heard this, so the reaction of Andrew is going to be live. So here we go.
We all know our friends at A Strings love to offer us a nice cup of coffee. I've been going back and forth now for probably 5 years or more, and I've had loads of cups of coffee, several of which have been made by Tristan. So this week, Tristan wins the medal. Conversation went something like, cup of coffee, Elwyn? Yes, please, Tris. It's black with 2, isn't it? No, it's white with none, thank you, Tris. Certainly no cigar for him.
Thank you, Elwyn.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
So,
Another one of those next week.
what Elwyn has given us really is an example of that personalised service that you get from A Strings. Well, 4 out of 5 of us anyway.
Yeah. So Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Elwyn.
Brilliant.
Elwyn Smiles.
So, on to top 5. So, it's your turn.
Well, yeah. So,
Oh, please tell people about what's happened with your last top 5.
oh wow. So on Saturday, I had a call from a customer, and basically, it was to let us know that Neck Brace Jeff has been made aware of his shout out on the first podcast.
Yeah.
He's taken it in good humour, as I knew that he would. He's a little bit miffed that he wasn't number 1, but as I said, it wasn't.
It wasn't ranked.
It wasn't ranked whatsoever.
No,
I could never rank my Jeffs.
No. We could have gone on. It could have been a top 10.
We could have gone on.
Could have been.
Maybe there'll be a second top 5 list.
Yeah.
There's something about the way. There's something really. There's something really just comedic about the way that people with bad necks turn, and just.
Well, they turn like the George Clooney Batman, don't they?
Batman, yeah. One body movement, yeah. And I get bad back from time to time when I've had a stiff neck and all that kind of thing. And yeah, you can do, all you can do is turn the entire torso to look at what you want to look at.
Yeah,
generally not worth it. Right, so my top 5 this week. Basically, top 5 things that annoy me about the staff. You ready?
I don't know.
So basically, everyone's mentioned, so no one is. I'm not going to kind of. There's no favoritism.
Have you heard this list yet? Tom hasn't heard this list yet.
So
neither have I.
Top 5 things that annoy me about the staff.
Okay.
Glyn, he's a loud eater and drinker.
No, okay, right.
No, but what he'll do, right? So I'll be soldering a cable, or I'll be trying to solder a pot out the back, and not only is he looking right over your shoulder, so you can feel, his nasal breath on your ear, kind of thing. But he'll be drinking, and when he drinks like this. And I wonder if I can get the microphone to pick this up. But he does a. Hopefully that was picked up. But there's that, and then when he chews, he'll have his mouth shut. He's not uncouth, but he'll be, you'll hear him chew a biscuit, 5 or 6 times, and then swallow, and he'll be a. And
there's a.
I love my dad, but it really, really annoys me when he eats and drinks like in close proximity.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Right, what did you expect?
I thought you were going to say the post costs.
Oh, yeah, I thought of that, and I thought, you know what, it's too long a story.
Yeah, which the podcast to people will never ever hear.
Yeah. Tristan,
no comment. Keep going.
Is incessant pen chewing and rubbing things like the phone against his mouth.
Oh, okay.
Other people have to use the pens. I've told him before. I said, are you going to finish that? I think it's his way of concentrating.
Yes.
But I suggest that he either sticks to his own pens or...
Bring a special pen.
Yeah. But, it'll annoy me when I need to, write a number down. I'm speaking to somebody on the phone, and then I'm reaching for a pen. I think, it's Russian roulette.
Well, on Saturday, it was only me and you, wasn't it? And first thing in the morning, I was doing something and I was on the phone. And do you remember? I picked up a pen and I put it in my mouth to hold it. And then I just went, "Ah!" And he turned around and I was just like, I just put it in my mouth. So yeah, the phone is a difficult one.
Yeah.
You have to wipe the phone before, not Tristan, that's everyone.
Yeah.
But from just like ear grease.
Yeah. Chris, you can't really say much about Chris, except, he's kind of tortoise slow.
Yeah.
He's very careful.
Yes.
But he's very slow with his delivery with everything, with regards to the work that he does, with regards to the way that he talks to you, and his incredibly small feet. Tom?
I don't like that I'm last in this list.
He's a smirker. You don't know what's going on behind those kind of... Like, he did it earlier on. Like, he was laughing at something. You think, what are you laughing at? You laughing at me? What's going through your mind?
Laughing at
He's
me.
a smirker. You never know what he's thinking. And, everyone smells in the toilet. But
but you know
go in
why?
there 10:15 in the morning.
You know why?
Yeah, because the fruit and everything else that
Yeah, but he'll sit and he'll eat an entire family thing of licorice all sorts.
maybe that's why he's smirking. Maybe he's really happy with what he's left.
Yeah.
And Adam. Right.
Oh, God.
So I got a list, actually. So
Oh, my God!
It's broken down to different things. So your blank expressions, a lot of I'm talking to you, and I'm talking. I'm trying to put something important across. I'm looking at you, and you're just looking into nothing, and I don't know if it's going in or if you're just kind of zoning out.
No, it is.
Right? Okay.
It is.
Hey, buddy. Everyone's hey, buddy on the phone. Not everyone wants to be called buddy.
Well, I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah. Your impressions.
What?
Your long jumpers. But also your long jumpers that look like kind of skirts.
Yeah. That one's, yeah.
The way you say bye-bye.
That's not my fault. I didn't want to keep that on. I've been made to keep that on.
Keep to the videos. You don't have to do
You
it
don't think Peter-
every time we say goodbye. You
It's
haven't
the
got to go bye-bye. Your shiny knees that when we got videos going on and your two knees kind of showing through your patches. And the last one, I guess, is the distance of how far apart your eyes are. Just that really big bit there. It's not like most other people.
Jesus.
Have you got any more to go on?
Oh, my God.
All good, though, yeah, mate?
I just can't believe how Tristan got away with just chewing a pen. And I had a list of stuff. I had a list. So we ended on a high. Character assassination. And I'm just left stunned.
So I think that more or less wraps things up.
Yeah, definitely.
You're okay, yeah?
I'm fine.
Yeah, good. So thank you, everyone, for getting involved again this week.
So yeah, thank you for listening on YouTube and SoundCloud. We will be going over to whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all those sort of things.
Yeah, if there's anything you want to hear, if there's anything you want to be involved in, let us know and it'll be good to have you along.
Yeah. So we will see you next Thursday for episode 4.
Say it, I dare you.
Bye-bye!